What's up, YouTube? It's Trevor, it's Jordan, and we got Ant-Man here, and we're coming to you with an Ant-Man review because we just saw it this morning, and I gotta say, it was pretty good. Like,
it was okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was the best.
Like, if you watched our previous video, like, I was super hyped up for the video, and he was...
I was not really hyped at all.
Not hyped at all. And I think that, you know, we kind of met in the middle. Like, I think he liked it. I think you liked it a little bit more.
It was good comedic value.
Good comedy. And I was a little bit underwhelmed to just, you know, I mean, like, I don't really know what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot. Exactly. You know, like, from the last video.
I was expecting a long story. I mean, like, a big, pretty, like, epic story. There really wasn't that much story going on.
Yeah,
really.
it was
lots
a lot.
of jokes.
Yeah, a lot of jokes.
And I really think, it kind of makes me wonder, like, that's probably what they were going for the whole time. Was kind of making jokes, cracking, I mean...
Yeah, and though...
really wasn't that much to it.
One of the... and I feel like you were correct in regards to, like, Scott Lang's character. I feel like him, it was pretty much just, like, he goes against the grain and tries to, you know, stick it to the man, and that got him in trouble. And then he has a daughter, and you gotta take care of your kid, and so he becomes Ant-Man. And, like, that's pretty much his entire story. He falls in love, I guess, kind of, with Hope Van Dyne.
We've had that before in other things. It's just, I was hoping for something a little bit more new.
Yeah, but...
original, I don't know. I was hoping for something.
Besides...
And they didn't quite deliver as much as I thought they were going to.
Well, I think you're correct with Scott Lang's character, but everything else, though. Hope Van Dyne's character,
that's true.
Hank Pym,
Darren
Cross was kind of interesting. I gotta tell you, Darren Cross has some mad marksman skills. He was picking ants out of the sky.
Okay. If you don't know, this is spoilers. So there's a scene where freaking Ant-Man is flying with his little pack of ants over and trying to stop him while he's getting into a helicopter. He's like, you know what, I'm done with this. Pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the little swarm of ants.
And
he
Darren Cross,
hit anything.
He straight hits Anthony.
He hits one ant that Ant-Man is on. And I was like, this ant is maybe like this big, and the bullet, I mean, come on. He's like 50 yards away, and he nails this ant. And he nails this one ant. No other ant got hit but the one important ant.
Exactly. But then, you know, another ant, you know, he was clutch, and he came and he caught Ant-Man whenever he was falling.
It didn't even look like he was trying to catch him. It looked like Ant-Man just grabbed a hold.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to give that ant the benefit of the doubt and say he was being clutch, right?
Well, what can you say? Go ahead.
Yeah.
That ant. Clutch.
But like that was
ant.
clutch ant, and like that was one of the when they started shooting at ants and Ant-Man and everything. I thought that was like one of the more ridiculous parts of the movie because it's like the chances that you're gonna hit this little guy, especially since you're probably not a trained marksman, is like so small that you really should just go get like a giant flask of water and like you'll have better luck.
I don't know.
But
a newspaper. Shut the door.
Find a door. No,
exactly. Well, there's nothing getting in that door.
That's right.
Just shut the door and it wouldn't have gone through.
Exactly.
Okay, but enough of that.
Okay, I thought Hope Van Dyne's character, the daughter of Hank Pym, I thought she was really interesting because, you know, she's had a whole life of, you know, growing up without a mom and stuff like that and having to deal with the loss of that.
And having to deal with not knowing how exactly her mom died. I mean, the plane crash I can understand why he said plane crash. Remember the full spoilers.
Yeah, full spoilers here.
I mean, whenever the missile is going down, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Use a plane crash sort of
in the
scenario.
air. You're in the air and it fell into the ocean. So yeah.
But I mean, whenever we found out that the mom had went subatomic, as they said, and went to some alternate reality, I was hoping that there would be some more with that. Like, honestly, whenever Hank Pym went subatomic,
oh, you mean Scott Lang?
Scott Lang, I'm sorry. Whenever Scott Lang went subatomic and he went down in there, and then he takes out the grow disc or whatever they decided to call it. I don't even know. And I was hoping that
it's
whenever
the Wumbo.
It's the Wumbo. But I was hoping that like how it started getting out of his reach, that it was actually going to stay out of his reach, and that he would end up just pulling out another one, and that one would keep floating about, because then you can have that idea. Did the mom actually grab that and then put it in her little suit if she's still alive? Yeah. And then grow big again?
I feel like that is an interesting question because if you think about it, you may be like, well, no, she's long dead, like she's starved by now, right? But you're in a time, like you're outside of time,
you're
like
outside of
you're not. Your body.
I don't really understand.
I don't understand either, but I think maybe like they could
small,
no hunger,
no time.
space exists, but
we
it doesn't.
We know science. No.
Science-ish.
Ish.
But anyways, but it would be cool. Like
I mean, yeah, to have that little like hint of a doubt. But I mean, he ended up grabbing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was okay with that, and I was totally thinking the Wombo thing going on. And I was like, this is pretty funny right here. But I was just hoping that there'd be a little bit more. Like they would be like, you know how he said that throughout the past 10 years that he was trying to discover this other dimension or anything like that to try and get his mom back. But then he was like, his wife back, and then he was like, I don't know diddly. I didn't figure out anything within the last 10 years. I'm sorry.
Because it's like, I'm guessing if anybody could figure it out, it'd be Hank Pym. And I'm guessing that just like, it's just not possible for us to really figure out a lot more about everything in that realm. But
I mean, they like dropped the bomb and then they didn't go with it. There was no aftermath or anything like that. I mean, I was hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, I think they tried to explain it in just that when you go subatomic like that, and if you stay there, you just keep shrinking forever, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you bring a Wombo disc.
He did stop at one point. He stopped shrinking.
Yeah,
but I don't even know where he was at. But he was somewhere.
Maybe there is a limit. Maybe there is a limit.
That's what I was thinking. But then I was like, if you looked at the end of his shoe, he could shrink down to that little tiny piece in the end of his shoe. And I was like, I'm not even.
Yeah, because you gotta think like. Well, we don't have to get into all the science. Let's continue.
We'll go ahead and let y'all skip that part.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought Hank Pym was awesome too. Like, you know, he packs a punch for an old guy and for a small guy. Like, he's pretty cool. Like, the revelation that he's been being Ant-Man like for the last like 40 years, like since
thinking about like him being in like the World War II with like Cap, pretty much.
And that's like super cool. Like nobody ever really knew about him. He was like that undercover agent and everything, which is like I believe and how Hank Pym believes is that that's how the Ant-Man suit should be used. It's like it should be like one person, undercover ops, you know. And it has to be controlled by the right person. And
when you think about it, his story and like I want to hold it back, and I don't want people to take this. It really makes sense because I mean, whenever you're looking at all the things that Yellow Jacket wanted to kind of do with the suit, I mean, once you shrink down that many people in an overpowered suit, there's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to fight. Anything that's going to be going out of that. I mean, unless if they have literally a ginormous beast water or something like that. I don't know, like, but I don't know.
What is your point, Ryan? I'm sorry, I'm not thinking.
Like, there's no way that someone would be able to really stop like a million of soldiers in a Yellow Jacket suit.
Exactly, and I think that was like his point. Like he thought, you know, this is very valuable, but you got to think about it like realistically. Obviously, okay, so there's like this thing with the particles or whatever that messes with your mind, and so Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket, maybe it was like a little crazy, and that's why he was doing all these things because he's been spending so much time around this particle or trying to figure it out and everything.
Do you think Hank Pym has had some of this? Because I mean,
I think
they talked about that, but I really didn't see much of that until they like dropped that little tiny hint whenever he was about to shoot Hank Pym, and I was like, oh yeah, that's an actual thing, but it doesn't look like anybody else is affected by it.
Fan theory is that Darren Cross is dealing with a formula that's not perfect. And so maybe since his formula is not perfect, like it messes him up more. And Hank Pym, he's been dealing with the real deal for the last 40 years, and even that screwed him up a little bit, and so he had to stop using the suit and everything. So I think that could have been it. That's just a fan theory.
He did talk about how he said that he wants to wear the suit, but it has worn on him a little bit. Which, I mean, that's really the only gist of that small little stuff we have. I would say that other than that, I mean, there was a couple little Easter eggs. I mean, of course, we got to see this isn't an abandoned Stark building. This is the new Avengers building. And I was like, holy crap! And then we see Falcon coming, and I was like, this is awesome!
That was the coolest thing. When Falcon dropped in, I was just like, this is legit. Like, I had no idea this was coming.
No,
you know, and
do you think that, I thought that Avengers little base was the base that's in the ending of Avengers 2.
I think you're right about that.
Like, I think that's the one that they're training their newbies at.
Yeah, I think it's like in New Hampshire, Vermont, or something like that, or upstate New York.
It was, well, they did say it was in upstate New York. Whenever that was in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember it from Avengers 2, but I know in this one, they did say it was an abandoned
I'm pretty sure upstate New York is where the new Avengers thing is at.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the same building.
Yeah.
And then just being like, hi, I'm Hank Pym. I mean, I'm Scott Lang, and I'm able to, like, shrink down here and trying to get in all that. And then they were like, word travels fast, so we really want this stuff now.
Yeah, but, like, spoiler, like, Ant-Man actually takes down Falcon. Which is the funniest thing ever. Because, you know, like, Falcon's already, like, the most underpowered Avenger, except for maybe, like, Hawkeye or Black Widow. But he's probably more underpowered than they are. So, whenever Ant-Man takes him down, you gotta know that, like, if anybody ever finds out about that, they're just gonna be ragging on Falcon all day.
Make sure Captain America never hears about this.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, yes, that's so true.
That was so funny.
And then, I mean, we get to see... I forget the guy's name already, but the guy that walked out with the little vial of the actual fuel that holds it, that could lead into something more important later on later on down the road.
There's a guy that works for Hydra, and he comes in. I don't remember his name either, but he comes in and he used to work for SHIELD back in the old days. That was the guy that Hank Pym like smashed his face into the desk, kind of like Joker style. And
where's the pencil?
Yeah, exactly. And then so later on he becomes part of Hydra. Maybe he was part of Hydra all along. And he gets a vial of Darren Cross's, you know, shrink particle or whatever,
or the fuel or whatever they said.
Yeah, exactly. The fuel that runs the suits. And so we don't really know. That's kind of a loose end that wasn't tied up, and maybe that'll be addressed later on.
I mean, if you have that, I don't know. Since it's just the fuel, could it? I mean, would there actually be properties that allow him to like synthesize it and figure out how to actually shrink people? I don't really know.
With the comic book world, reverse engineering, I feel like is
super easy.
Yeah, super easy.
They're like, put it in here, computer go, and it just prints out.
Here's a suit.
Here's a suit. Here's a suit. It just goes freaking Tony Stark all over it.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, it could probably definitely happen.
Yeah. And, think about this: an Iron Man who can shrink. That'd be sick.
Oh man, an Iron Man suit that can shrink. That's okay. Well, Hank Pym was the whole time being like, I never wanted Stark to know any of this, and you really want me to hand it straight to him. And I was like, that really makes sense. Yeah. We don't need Tony Stark shrinking everywhere.
Exactly.
Which is like, is he gonna try and get it from Scott Lang whenever he joins the Avengers? Because we're thinking he joins the Avengers, because of course he does at some point.
Right.
But like, is he gonna be like, okay, you can shrink, I'm gonna leave that to you, or is he gonna be like, can I have that suit for like a day?
Right, like he did with the staff in Avengers 2.
Exactly, like he was like, I'm gonna keep this on for like a day, and then I'm gonna create Ultron.
Yeah, he's gonna make a shrinking Ultron. Hopefully not.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about like the last two, the mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene. So the first one was the Wasp one. Yes,
that was super pumped.
That was really awesome.
Happy because I mean, like the first time we saw Wasp was in the whenever Hank Pym was talking about his wife,
right?
Which was apparently the Wasp for him.
Yeah.
And she went like we talked about earlier. She went subatomic. Mm-hmm. She went inside of the bomb and I guess diffused it somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And then I don't know how, but Hank Pym gets off and
the bomb didn't explode.
Well, yeah, but they go straight into the water. But like, does Hank Pym just have
I'm guessing
flying all around him or what? I don't know.
I mean, it was a shield operation, so I'm sure they had like a little tracker on him. He probably went big and just was like, you know,
just like chilling there for a little bit.
Ocean, you know?
Had like his little, I don't know, had like a little pool floaty just chilling there.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Exactly.
Probably, but
fan theory.
But like, then we see the new suit that's for his daughter,
Hope Van Dyne. She got her suit now,
and it looks fantastic. I think I was really happy to see this one that it was actually kind of going back to the gold and black. Which was like
a little blue, I thought.
There was some blue and red at some parts, but it was like in the, I don't know, there was like a little sash or something like that. I don't know, that's all fabric and style.
And it had like these wings that were coming out the back of it. Obviously, it's the Wasp suit, it has to.
It looked real good.
It looks really good. So that was awesome.
But I did look at the helmet for a little bit, and it looked like it just had like a visor sort of deal. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't fully cover the face.
She's going to get a lot of wasps in her mouth.
Well, I mean, like whenever you thought about it, one of the biggest points was Hank Pym was like, you need to be able to have full body enclosure to be able to shrink down. That's why they were able to shrink the goat down whenever it was closed inside of that cage.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't remember that.
Maybe I was just looked at it wrong, but if I remember correctly, I remember there just being a little visor or something like that that didn't completely cover up her face. So maybe he found something that allows her to shrink without having to.
He's been doing the science for a long time. Yeah, I mean, so that was really cool. And then the final one was the post-credit scene. And it didn't have a whole lot to do with Ant-Man. It was Captain America and Falcon finally tracked down Winter Soldier. And he called Cap up, and they found Winter Soldier. And it looked, not exactly sure, it looks like Winter Soldier had himself like stuck in some kind of vice, or
and
I don't know.
Like his gauntlet or something from like the Winter Soldier, and he was stuck in something.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like
they needed somebody with some science to come help them.
To come and get it out. I don't know. Maybe it's some alien tech or something, because that's the only thing I can think of that could possibly pull Captain America and Falcon from trying to... and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
These are two really strong dudes.
Yeah,
like, one of them is a freaking super soldier.
Exactly.
The other one... both of them are super soldiers. And then you got the black guy with wings. But,
exactly.
But I mean, really, like, it's really hard.
It's totally cool.
Like, how can you not get something like that out? So I'm really wondering, like, what he has his hand into.
It's got to be some kind of mega science going on, because they call Cap was like, well, we can't call Stark because he's busy with something.
Yakuza, I don't know.
Oh, what was it? Wakanda. It could be Wakanda, because that's where the vibranium stuff happened.
Maybe it was Wakanda. So little Wakanda. Then that kind of leads back to Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that was it.
And there's a little Civil War bomb right there.
I guess because I think Black Panther is
going to be confirmed for Civil War.
Yeah, so that's cool.
There you go.
Figure that out.
Just figure that out on the air. You were first to see that.
Exactly, right.
But and then he's like, we saw from the very last, from one of the last scenes of the actual movie, the Mexican guy, I forget his name. Luis, he was telling him the story, and and the story was about Falcon asking a whole bunch of different people if one of them knew Ant-Man. So he's trying to find Ant-Man. And then at that post-credit scene, he says, I know a guy, which could be, what we're assuming is he's talking about Ant-Man.
Right, so we're thinking that Falcon is going to get in contact with Ant-Man and get Ant-Man to help Winter Soldier out of whatever predicament he's in.
Or, I don't know, maybe he's going to have to go subatomic again and try and go through something. I don't know. It kind of makes sense whenever you think about it.
So this is leading up a lot to Civil War. So we got some like guys who could be on Captain America's side. We have Falcon, Winter Soldier. Now possibly Ant-Man could be on Captain America's side, since he's buddy with Falcon now, kind of. So things are leading up, and then maybe Tony Stark's got Black Panther on his side because he's in Wakanda.
And when you think about it, that's going to be, I'm pretty sure that's the last movie until Civil War.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our only hints that we get. And I think that whenever I think about it, those are some pretty good hints.
Yeah, they
leading up into Civil War. It was actually pretty interesting seeing Chris Evans on, and seeing that in the very end.
It's always good seeing him.
But yeah, other than last little bomb, they talked about Spider-Man for that one shit.
Shoot, man, that was sick.
That was whenever they were like, now we have a guy jumping, we have a guy climbing, we have a guy swinging. I was like, that's Spider-Man!
Like, in the theater, I turned to Jordan, I was like, dude, it's like...
So, other than that, that's pretty much all I say with the review. It was really good. It didn't live up to everything that we wanted, but...
The main story was kind of dull at some points.
Yeah, but if we had to rate it on from like a 1 to 10,
I'd give it a solid 7. But
do you give it a 7?
7's a little bit.
I'd maybe give it like a 8. I think I would actually give it an 8.
Yeah, okay.
Because I really like the comedic value in it.
Yeah.
Luis was really funny.
Luis was hilarious.
And I actually like that actor a lot too in some other movies that he does.
He's good.
But he was really funny in this, and it really brought that comedic relief a lot.
Michael Pena, I believe, or Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena. That's what his name is, or something like
Pena.
But
anyways,
so if we add that up, that's about a 7.5 for both of us.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's a good movie. Y'all should go watch.
So definitely, but of anything, it's a Marvel movie, and it's gonna drop spoilers, and it's gonna drop little leaks from the next movie. So you should definitely see it, no matter what.
If we didn't already just spoil it for you, then go spoil it for yourself.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We really enjoy.
We'll have some other videos coming up real soon, hopefully too. So
yeah, definitely. We'll be talking about Arrow stuff maybe sooner or later. All right. Well,
like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.